Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick review of 4.NF.3, and that is adding and subtracting fractions and actually also multiplying fractions. So we're going to go over some of our skills. The first one that's always the easiest is just adding fractions with the same denominator. You can see that they both are eighths. So all I do is go straight across and I add 3 plus 2 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. Okay, don't add the two denominators, you leave it the same. Over here to this one with mixed numbers, first do the fraction part first, and when I look at a addition problem with mixed numbers and I see that it will not be a whole, I can just go ahead and do 2 plus 1 is 3/4 and 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, down to this one for subtracting fractions with the same denominator. I see they're both ninths, so I know that I'm going to have the same denominator, and 7 minus 5 is 2. Over here for subtracting mixed numbers, I can see that when I do this subtraction, I'm going to have enough. I don't need to borrow anything, so I can just go straight across and do 5 minus 2 is 3/7, and 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, now it gets a little bit more tricky when you have to borrow and regroup. So let's try this one. So now we're adding with mixed numbers, and I can see by looking at the fraction part that 2 and 2 is going to get me to 4, which I know is greater than 1 whole. So I've asked you all to stack these up when you're doing them. So first I'm going to rewrite the problem to look like this. Okay, and then I'm going to do the fraction part first. So we kind of drew these little lines, and we went like this. 2 plus 2 is 4/3. And then we're going to convert that. 4/3, 3 fits into 4 one time. There's 1 left over. We keep the same denominator. So when we add the fractions, that got us to 1 and 1/3. When we add the whole numbers, 1 plus 2, we get 3. Now we have to add these both together. 3 plus 1 is 4 and 1/3. That is our answer. Okay. We're going to go back here to subtracting now. So I can see that they're asking me to take 4/6 away from 1/6, so I know I'm going to have to regroup. So I need to stack this problem up as well. So I'm going to put this one right here. 5 and 1/6 minus 2 and 4/6. Okay, and I'm going to do the fraction part first. Well, so I see that I cannot take 4 away from 1, so I actually have to borrow a whole from this 5. So this 5 becomes a 4, and I take the 1 whole. That'll be 6/6. I know that because the denominators tell me. I'm going to add together what I have now because that's just like too much of a mess. So we have to add the fractions. So I have 6/6 plus 1/6 is 7/6. I'm just going to bring that 4 over here. I'm going to rewrite the 2 and 4/6. Now I'm going to subtract. Okay, now I can do the problem. So 7 minus 4 is 3. I keep my denominator, 6, and 4 minus 2 is 2. And then I say, oh, I can simplify that. So I'm going to take that down. Oops, I'm sorry. 2.5. Okay, perfect. So the answer for that one was 2.5. Now we're going to come to multiplying fractions. So as you remember the little saying we say in class, multiplying fractions is no problem. Top times the top, bottom times the bottom. So that's what we're doing. In 4th grade, we multiply fractions by whole numbers, and they usually give them to us in 2 ways. One way they're going to give them to us is a word problem, and they're going to say something like, 1/3 of the cupcakes were vanilla. How many cupcakes was that? So whenever you have to figure out what 1/3 of something is, or a fraction of something is, all you do is you turn the of into a multiplication sign. You put the whole number over a 1. Top times the top, bottom times the bottom. Then you ask yourself, how many times can 3 fit into 12? And that is going to be 4 wholes. So 1/3 of 12 is 4. Okay. Down here is a way that they will give it to us where it's just basically an equation, and all you do for that, again, is you put the whole number over a 1. You always have to have a top and a bottom to multiply. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 1 times 6 is 6. And then I know 6 can fit into 10 one time. There's 4 left over. I know my denominator is 6 because it's the same denominator. And I can simplify this by dividing both of them by 2. So I'm going to get 1 2/3 as my answer. Okay, I hope this helps. Bye.